I was taking care of my dying father. My wife couldn't take it anymore. She said she didn't want to live like that, in that dusty house, with the smell of medicine and slow death in the air. I was with him day and night, barely leaving his side. She wanted a normal life. Joy. Freedom. She wanted me to take her out, to laugh, to dream about vacations, not spend every evening wiping my father's forehead and giving him injections. Eventually, she said she was leaving, that she couldn't do it anymore, that she still loved me, but she couldn't watch me throw away my youth and our life together for a man who had no future. She packed her things and left. No drama, no fights, just gone. I stayed. My father had no one else, and I knew if I walked away, I'd never be able to live with myself. So I watched him fade, little by little, day after day. Sometimes he didn't recognize me. Sometimes he did, and he cried like a child. I fed him, changed his sheets, carried him to the bathroom when he couldn't walk anymore. I held his hand until the very end. After the funeral, I was a shell. I didn't think about anything except how quiet the house was without him. Then the lawyer called. Turns out, my father left me everything. The house, the land, his savings, and some investments I didn't even know existed. Within weeks, I realized I was a very wealthy man. Not a billionaire, but more than enough to never worry about money again. A month later, she came back. She rang the bell like nothing happened. She smiled, teared up when she saw me, said she missed me, said she made a huge mistake, that she was scared, that she thought she'd lost me in that house, in that illness, but now she saw things differently, that she wanted to try again, that love could heal all wounds. She reached for my hand. I looked at her for a long time. I saw the same face, the same voice, but not the same woman. I remembered the silence after she left, the way I cried alone, the way I buried my father without her, the way I sat in that kitchen, wondering if I'd been wrong to give up everything for him. And then I remembered why I didn't regret it, why I'd do it all again. So I smiled. I gently took my hand back and said, "You were right. This life wasn't for you. And it still isn't." And I closed the door. Update 1. I want to thank everyone who supported me. I never imagined this story would resonate with so many people. I've received hundreds of messages, some encouraging, others scolding, but mostly just people sharing their own heartbreaks. It's comforting to know I'm not alone in this. After my first post, I decided to write a letter to Katia. I couldn't bear to hear her voice again, and I didn't want to get sucked into her tears or false promises. I needed to be firm. In the letter, I told her we were done. I said I couldn't trust her and that I didn't want her in my life anymore. I made it clear that any attempts to contact me directly would be ignored. If she wanted to talk, she could do it through a lawyer. She responded within a day. Through tears and pleading emojis, she asked for a meeting. Said we needed to talk things through like adults. I stood my ground. I reminded her of how she abandoned me when I needed her most, when my father was dying, when I was falling apart from grief and loneliness. She had chosen her path. Now she had to live with it. 2 days later, her sister messaged me. Apparently, Katia had told her a completely different version of events, that I had emotionally neglected her, that she'd been lonely and confused, and that the affair just happened. I didn't respond. Let her rewrite history all she wants. The truth is etched in my memory like stone. In the meantime, I met with a lawyer. He's a sharp guy, recommended by one of my father's old friends. He's handling everything now: divorce papers, property division, even a possible claim against her for emotional damages. Apparently that's a thing. He also helped me set up a trust fund with part of my inheritance to protect it from any future claims she might try to make. Some people ask me if I still love her. I don't know. Maybe a part of me always will. Or maybe I'm just mourning the woman I thought she was. Either way, I feel lighter every day. Not happier, at least not yet, but free. And freedom, after everything, is a kind of joy. To those of you going through something similar, hold the line. Don't let guilt or loneliness drag you back into something that broke you. Healing takes time, but it starts with one simple act: choosing yourself. Update 2. 3 months have passed since I sent Katia the letter. Since then, everything's been quiet, eerily quiet. No more late-night texts. No messages from her sister. No surprise visits. At first, I thought she'd finally let go. That maybe, just maybe, she'd realized the damage she'd done and moved on. But of course, I was wrong. Last week, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Normally, I wouldn't have answered, but something told me to pick up. It was her. Her voice cracked like dry wood. She said she was standing outside my old apartment, the one we used to share. She sounded lost. "I just wanted to see you," she whispered. "To look at you one more time." I didn't say much, just told her to leave. She begged me to listen, said she'd made the biggest mistake of her life, that she didn't even care about the money, that she only found out about the inheritance after she came back. She swore the guy she cheated with meant nothing, that it was a moment of weakness, that she hated herself for it. I wanted to yell, to scream at her for the nights I spent alone, holding my dying father's hand, while she was in someone else's bed. But I didn't. I just hung up. A few hours later, she sent me a photo. It was of us, from years ago. I was laughing, and she was looking at me like I was the only person in the world. I deleted it. I'd be lying if I said it didn't hurt. But pain isn't love. It's just the echo of what used to be. Here's the strange thing. I'm doing well. Really well. I've started investing a portion of the inheritance in a small tech startup founded by a friend of my father. I'm learning things I never thought I'd understand. For the first time in years, I feel excited about the future. I've also started therapy, something I never believed in before, but it's been grounding. My therapist told me something that stuck. Closure isn't something someone else gives you. It's something you give yourself. I'm trying to do that now, slowly, piece by piece. Some nights are still hard. Grief doesn't follow a schedule. But most mornings, I wake up without thinking about her. That's progress. To those still following this journey, thank you. Your support has meant more than I can put into words. Final update. It's been a year since everything fell apart, and strangely, a year since everything finally started to come together. After the last time Katia called me, she went silent again. I blocked her number, her email, everything. I heard from mutual friends that she moved back in with her sister, that she was trying to get her life together. I honestly hope she does. I don't wish her harm. I just don't want her in my life anymore. A few months ago, I traveled to the mountains alone. My dad used to take me there when I was a kid. I stood at the edge of a cliff overlooking a frozen lake and thought about how much had changed. About how much I had changed. The man who stood there wasn't the same man who once begged his wife not to leave while his father was dying. He wasn't the same man who cried himself to sleep in a cold hospital chair. That man had shattered. But from those pieces, something stronger had emerged. I kept the promise I made at my father's grave. I didn't let grief turn me bitter. I didn't let betrayal consume me. I found peace, not because everything's perfect now, but because I stopped waiting for someone else to fix the pain they caused. The startup I invested in has grown. It's not a billion-dollar unicorn or anything, but it's steady. I'm working with good people. We build things that matter. I even started writing again, something I hadn't done in years. And love? I'm not in a relationship, but I'm open. I met someone recently. We're taking things slow. She doesn't know everything about my past yet, and that's okay. Some stories take time to share. To those who followed this story from the beginning, thank you. You've been strangers, but also something more. You reminded me that I wasn't alone, even when it felt like I was drowning. If you're going through something similar, let me say this: you will survive. You will get up again, even if it takes 100 tries. And one day, you'll stand on your own and feel the wind not as something pushing you down, but as something lifting you forward. I'm still healing, but I'm living. And for now, that's more than enough. End.